Looks like we're live, right? Mm. All right. Welcome. We're live tonight. I need to switch screens here. All right. Well, welcome. We're live on this Friday evening. Shabbat shalom. It is now Sabbath, 9:30 p.m. on the last day of March 31st, 2023. And it is now 9:31 p.m. And we are just going to have an open chat tonight. We did finish Isaiah this week, yesterday, as a matter of fact. Finished the book of Isaiah. So, and then tonight is Sabbath. So we are just going to have an open chat. If we have players in here, we will also have Bible Jeopardy. Otherwise, it'll just be a little chat. So we'll see how it goes. We have snow right now, flying sideways. It is a blizzard. April Fools, right? April Fools, you thought winter was over. Well, actually, I didn't. We still have 2-3 feet of snow up here, so I never thought winter was over. But anyway, hope y'all had a wonderful day. All right. All right. Switch over here. Anyway, hope y'all all had a good day. Like it was going to go somewhere. It was just so nasty. I kept putting it off, and it was cold, nasty, rainy, snowy. And then it just started full blast snowing around 5 or 6 o'clock. So I never did go anywhere today. Normally I do. Normally Friday is my day of shopping and preparation and all that for Sabbath. And I thought, you know what? I got everything here I need. So I didn't really need to go. But I did. I just got, hey, D, how you doing tonight? Good to see you. I hope you had a wonderful day. Shabbat shalom to you. I'm getting my chat up so I can see you guys better. Anyway, how was your day, D? I am pulling up my chat so I can see it on the big screen. Kind of forgot to do that. I did pull up other stuff, though. You doing okay? That's good. I hope you had a good day. I just stayed home. I always go shopping on Friday, usually. I just couldn't leave the house. It was just so gross out. And, yeah, it was just drizzly all day. In fact, it was so much moisture in the air. My porch windows were completely fogged up. It was just weird. That's how much water was in the air. Today was good. Very windy, though. Yeah, I hope that, yeah, it was nice out, right? I guess as long as you're not standing out there in the wind. All right. Yeah, it is actually really cold here. We got, it's not really so cold. It is just so cold, nasty water in the air. You could wring it out. I'm sure everybody with arthritis can feel it. Yeah, I woke up in my porch. I got a 3-season porch. It's not insulated or nothing. But when I woke up today, I couldn't even see out my porch windows. They were covered with water. That's how much moisture's in the air. Not raining, just moisture in the air. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is for real. It says 5 to 8 inches. That'd be like one of the biggest storms we've had, and I don't know. I hope not. It's supposed to be up really warm this week. Yeah, it is still snowing. Yeah. In fact, I'll show you on my screen. I don't want to go outside, but I'll show you on my monitor out here. Here's one of my cameras. That's the snow. Yeah. Look at that one going straight sideways. Look at that. Straight sideways. That is a blizzard. When your snow is going straight sideways, that's a blizzard. Anyway. Yeah, it is. It's a blizzard out there. That's what man. I was gonna go to the store all day today, and it's just so nasty. And then I thought, all right, I'm gonna go right before Sabbath, like 5, 6 o'clock, and then it started snowing. Yeah, it is actually. I saw on the weather thing. I wonder if I could pull it up. I've seen a symbol on here I've never seen before. Let me see if I can see it. Maybe it's the other one. It is I think it's a blizzard symbol. I'm not sure. I'll show you the symbol. Now this is a cracked screen, so I'll try to show it to you. All right, so you see this symbol here? I don't know if you can see it. That is, I guess you can't see it. That is that is the symbol. I don't know if you can see it. It's right here. These symbols. That's a blizzard symbol. I don't think you can see it because it's kind of cracked, and it's kind of blurry. But it is it's a blizzard symbol. They're like wiggly lines with snowflakes, so it's like visibility is 1 mile, so you can still see. Now it's 3 to 5 more inches supposed to be here. It was 8. It was 5 to 8 before. Yeah, it is going sideways. It is blowing pretty rough. Yeah, and the stray cats haven't been coming out to eat today. You see white blobs? Yeah, that is the blizzard. Yeah. Yeah, I thought, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to hold out till Sunday. Tomorrow's Sabbath. I don't go anywhere, but Sunday, I think I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to wait till Sunday to go anywhere. It's supposed to be so Sunday is supposed to be 48 degrees. And that might sound cold to some people. For us, that is a heat wave. As a matter of fact, that's almost 50 to us. And so Sunday, it's supposed to be very warm. And melt. A lot will be melting. So yeah, not fun. Anyway, what'd you do today, Dee? So yeah, I just stayed home and cleaned. I always clean on Sabbath, but anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I did. Didn't go anywhere. Didn't oh, you know what though? Oh, I did try out my dog's shot collar because he's been attacking my other dog. Like like a pit bull fight, and somebody's gonna get hurt. So I got a shot collar to break up the fight if he ever does that again. And I did it one time when he started attacking, and he's not doing anything now. That was the fastest attitude adjustment I've ever seen. You didn't do much anything today? Yeah. I just cleaned. Did my normal Friday cleaning, my massive cleaning every week. So I listened to I was listening to some rabbis because they believe in reincarnation. Jewish people believe in reincarnation, like that your soul just gets reincarnated, and when you die, your soul leaves your body, and then it I suppose soul rests. I don't know, but then it goes back into a newborn baby, and you just keep cycling and until you learn all your lessons or something. But anyway, that was interesting. I listened to that while I was cleaning. What else? It was some pretty interesting stuff. That's what I do when I'm cleaning. I just put on live streams that last an hour or two. Good deal about the attitude adjustment. Yeah, you know what? It said right on the ad. It said fastest attitude adjustment. Yeah, now because every time they go outside, the German Shepherd attacks Wazzy attacks the older dog. And the older dog fights back, and it is like the most horrible dog fight you ever seen. And they won't stop no matter what I do. And so, I mean, somebody's going to get their face ripped off. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to get hurt bad. I'm surprised they haven't. So, anyway, now when they go outside, I have the thing in my hand and I say, how's it going to be now? And they go out and he's very nice. And then I heard a dog fight breaking out outside of my window. And I just hit that button. And guess what? No more dog fight. Yep. So even when he thinks I'm not looking, he just learned today that it works. Even when he thinks I'm not looking, because I could hear him and I could see him on my cameras. Yep. He's got to stop doing that. He's been attacking the old dog Sprout ever since he was about 6 months old. He started doing it. As soon as he got about the same size, he started challenging him all day, every day. Fighting. It's just getting worse and worse. I mean, it's the horrible fights. Horrible. Like wild animals. And they don't listen. I've tried listening to some rabbis, but I think because I'm not used to how they think, I don't understand. Yeah. I like a lot of the stuff the rabbis talk about. I just kind of picked the subject. But yeah, so the Jewish people believe in reincarnation, that you're just, and that kind of makes sense. I'll tell you what it does explain. If there is reincarnation, which I'm leaning towards, it would explain a lot of things. It would explain deja vu, when you feel like you've been somewhere. Like, wow, I feel like I did this exact same thing. Or I was thinking, sometimes when I meet people, like there's this lady at the store, man, she seems so familiar. I feel like I've known her my whole life. I just barely met her. But we were talking, and I'm thinking, man, she seems so familiar. Like somebody been in my life my whole life. You know what I mean? You ever think of that about people? Like somebody that you meet, like it feels like you've known them for a long time. Anyway, and then some people, well, it would explain kind of a lot of things actually. It would explain why God said your next after you die you will remember no more. It would explain why He knew you before the foundation of the earth. Explain kind of a lot of things. That's not what they were talking about. They were talking about well, one rabbi I was listening to, he was talking about Actually, I forgot what he was talking about. I have to look at my thing. I forgot what he was talking about, but it would explain. I was thinking to myself all the things that it would explain. And so you just like keep cycling your same soul. What he was talking about is how about a soul, like how when you're born. And this made me really think, because this is weird. So when you're born, God blows his breath into you, and you become a living soul. Right? But he has to blow that breath into you. And then when you die, you exhale, which means you expired. You inspired, you breathed in when you were born, and you expire when you die. You breathe out the air, your last breath, you breathe out. And your soul leaves. And anyway, he was just explaining how, like, different analogies of like how a soul would be an everlasting soul. Soul is like electricity or flowing water. It's like electricity. It's always flowing, always flowing. And then the refrigerator, when you plug in the refrigerator that has the electricity going to it, then the refrigerator runs. And as long as, it will run and run and run until, like, your body, until it wears out. And then the electricity doesn't go in it anymore. And the electricity's still there, but it's gone out of the refrigerator. Okay, so then the refrigerator says, "Hey, electricity, where did you go?" And electricity would say, "I've always been here. Your body was just there while you plugged into the electricity, and then when you unplugged, you were dead." Doesn't mean electricity doesn't exist anymore. Electricities keep going. I mean, anyway. But then there's also like, and you know what? It would also explain why people have, what do they call it? When you remember a previous life, what's that called? I don't know, memories of previous lives or whatever. I forgot what it's called. Anyway, people, like, even little kids will remember like a previous life and stuff like that. Anyway, it's weird because there's nowhere in the Bible that would refute that except one single verse from Paul in the New Testament that says the soul is to lives once and then it's assigned to, or dies once and then it's assigned for judgment or something like that. That was a Paul writing, one sentence, which there's no other collaborating verses that go with it anywhere in the Bible. I forgot how they put it. Anyway, yeah, so we have blizzard warnings widens to Twin Cities. Heavy snow expected Friday night. That's tonight. Anyway, yeah, listen to a few listen to a few of those today. Interesting. And then there's always those videos where like, whether it's adults or kids, they like yeah, I don't put much stock into what Paul wrote either. You're right, D. I don't either. Because he writes things that are blatantly against not only God in the Old Testament, but blatantly even against Jesus' teachings. I mean, if you believe in Jesus and what he taught, then you cannot follow Paul. There's just, because Paul teaches almost opposite of what Jesus did. And Jesus taught what the Old Testament taught. Jesus believed in the Old Testament. Paul doesn't. So Paul not only teaches against Jesus, but also the Old Testament. But yeah, I don't put much stock into what he says either. A lot of it is very easily proven to be false. What I don't like is to hear ministers talking about Paul instead of God or Jesus. Yeah, it's all the time, D. All the time. You know who always only quotes Paul is Drew Bloom. Drew Bloom 34 every single week. Let's look at First Corinthians or Second Timothy or whatever. It's always Paul. He never, ever, ever quotes Jesus, never quotes the Old Testament. And you know what? That's a good example. That's kind of reflective of how most of them are. Always quoting Paul. Why? Because Paul, and that's why Paul's ministry was so successful and took off in Rome, because Rome was pagans. Okay, Paul preached to the pagans. Pagans don't know nothing about God or the Bible or anything, Old Testament. They don't know nothing about Jesus. But Paul is just saying, hey, you just do what you want, believe in Jesus or whatever, and you'll be saved. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to follow commandments. First, second, third, fourth, none of them. Just believe in Jesus, and yeah. But rarely will you hear them quoting Jesus. And Jesus, for the most part, is pointing to the Old Testament, quoting the Old Testament. But nope, they won't. It's funny. Or another thing, D, another thing that they do a lot, and most channels do it, they'll say, you got to believe in Jesus and pray to Jesus and just focus on Jesus and all this stuff. Well, what about God? It's just like, wouldn't you be praying to God and focusing on God? And anyway, but God is kind of lost in the shuffle. It's just Jesus. And they'll say, well, Jesus is God. Well, all right, well, where's the God? Where's the original God? But he's out of the picture now. He's not even in the picture anymore. And for the most part, Jesus, first God got knocked out of the picture. Then Jesus got knocked out of the picture. Now you just got Paul. And that's why he's so successful, because he only talked to the pagans and people that didn't know anything that you're supposed to be expected of. So, yeah, his was successful. You see, Jesus went to the Jews, and the Jews know darn well that what the Messiah is supposed to be. And, so the Jews that went with Jesus, yeah, they were ones that agreed about the teaching of the Old Testament. Though pretty much the only ones that went against Jesus was the church leaders, Pharisees and Sadducees, and because Jesus was going against the church and the church leadership, not the Jewish people. And that's what most people don't understand. Jews didn't hate Jesus; they loved him. He was like a rock star. 4,000 or 5,000 people following. Can you imagine 4,000 and 5,000 people following you wherever you went? That is not people hating Jesus. They loved Jesus. I'm glad I can talk about my thoughts here. Yeah. Yep. No judgment here, because we don't know. I've been wrong before. All of us have been wrong. Everybody's been wrong before. So for me or you or anybody to say, oh, I know the answer 100%, no. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we don't have to. And it's too bad, because people think that you cannot. And here's my question. Like, somebody said, well, it's too bad that we don't think our beliefs aren't the same. Well, you know what? So if you can't hang around with somebody because your beliefs aren't the same, well, what about your family members? Is your belief the same as all the family members? No, but you can still hang with them, right? How about your friends or people at work? Are your beliefs the same as the people at work or your friends? No, but you can still hang with them, right? So just because somebody doesn't believe exactly like you do, doesn't mean that you shouldn't have anything to do with them. In my opinion, of course, you shouldn't be hanging around with people in a bad influence. Nobody should hang around with anybody who's a bad influence. You know, but for the most part, you know what? Really, every single religion, I believe, except for Satanism, you know what I mean, and maybe some weird ones, but for the most part, you can almost go to any, if you're a drug addict or you're depressed or you're whatever, suicidal, or your life is in a mess, or everybody hates you, or whatever. You say whatever reasons, like people come to Jesus. They have a come to Jesus moment. Yeah, people can get upset when they're talking about religion and politics, and I think that's what it was made for, to divide people up. You know what I mean? Religion is a big division. Politics is a huge division. So it can instantly make people angry and to fight. And I just tell people, they want to talk about Trump and Biden. I tell them, it's zero in my life. I care zero about politics. Zero. If you want to complain about Trump or Biden or whatever, I'm not the person to do about it. I've never been interested in politics. Nothing to do with it. It's never once changed my life. Never has a president been elected and all of a sudden my life got better. Never has it happened. I've never noticed. All I know is it's a slow, gradual decline, a very gradual decline for the last 50 years. I've seen it, almost 60 years. I've seen a small, just this very slope of a decline. It really doesn't matter who is the president. You know what I mean? Because my life never changes. I always have the same bills. Everything's the same. Everything's the same. Still had to work, still had to have kids, taking care of my kids, still everything, nothing changed. And yeah, I could care less about politics. I think it's just a big show and a way to just control the population. And it's just a form of control is what it is. A big bunch of thugs and bullies. So no, I don't want nothing to do with either side, Democrat or Republican. I'm not neither, never been, never identified as either, ever in my life. Nothing to do with it. And so guess what? There's no argument with me. Well, but as far as religion, listen, if somebody's an alcoholic or they're or a drug addict or whatever, I liked Reagan, but none of them sense him. Yeah. Well, I think Reagan was an actor, and I think they're all actors. Trump is an actor. Yeah, I remember that was the first year I was eligible to vote, and I did not vote. I never voted once in my life, but that's when I was 18 years old, maybe 19. Something like that is when Reagan. Actually, that's when I got married, 1980. I got married. That was the Reagan years over there. But yeah, it's to me, it doesn't change my life, so I really am not interested in it. But anybody who's got their life in a shambles, you can join pretty much any religion. Because people say, well, it's only because of Jesus I got off of drugs, because of Jesus. Well, the people that go to Buddha, they say it's because of Buddha. People that go to Allah say it's because of Allah. People that go to God say it's because of Yahweh or whatever. People can go to the Catholic Church, you can go to Mother Mary, and so everybody gets results. Okay, you know why? In my opinion, it's because the drug addict or the alcoholic now is given up playing by their rules, and now they're going to go play by somebody else's rules, and that's why their life all of a sudden gets better, because they're not deciding their rules anymore. They're going by somebody else's rules. They're going by the Catholic rules. They're going by the Christian rules. They're going by the Jewish rules or the Mormon rules or whatever, Jehovah's Witness rules. But they're not going by their rules anymore. And that's why their life just instantly improves. Because their ways led them crashing to the ground. So now they're going by somebody else's rules, and that's why all of a sudden everything gets better. Hey, John, good to see you tonight. Shabbat shalom. Hope you had a wonderful day. John, I don't know if you're listening, but yeah, I hope you had a great day. Hope you're ending a nice week. But I think any religion is going to make your life better, really. Because you're going to stop, like I said, you're going to stop playing by your rules, the rules that ran you into the ground, and now you're conforming to somebody else's rules, and that's why everything all of a sudden gets better. Like I said, I mean, yeah, you can think, oh, Jesus, because it's Jesus. Well, maybe somebody else says because of God. Somebody else says this. Somebody else says that. And people have different gods. Some people have no God and their life got better because they joined, I don't know, maybe even AA. You can live by AA rules and your life will get better. You know why? Because they're not your rules. They're more structured and organized so you're not self-destructing. You can go to lots of groups and make things better. You know what I mean? Also, the mind invents what it needs to cope in life. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It does. It does. And so if you think, that's why some people can, I don't know, some people can, find a rock and they think it brings them luck and all this other stuff and things start going better. Why? Because their mind changed. Not because the rock has anything in it or doing anything, but they're in their mind. They think, hey, this is my lucky rock. And they brought it home and they keep, bring it everywhere with them or even a lucky rabbit's foot, anything, any charm. I mean, the charms, that goes way back, charms. It goes back to divination and all kinds of witchcraft, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, it is in the mind. Yeah. And that's why, and you know what, John, you're exactly right. The mind does invent what it needs to cope. You know why? That's why some people will walk into when people come home and maybe their house got robbed. So they come home and they think, hey, wait a minute, how'd the block get broken? And they think, oh, I don't know, maybe the kid did it or something. You're not that. See, your mind is inventing like good logical solutions, and then you go into the house and you think, wow, what's this dumped over? Dog must have did it. Your mind is rationing and trying to cope with what's going on, what you're seeing. You're seeing the scene of a robbery, or even some people will walk into a murder scene. They'll say, well, I mean, I saw him on the ground, but I was thinking he would, I thought it was odd, but I just went to the other room, and you'll hear people, their mind is rationalizing things just so they can cope. I think it goes on major scales, and I think it goes on tiny individual scales every day. As far as religion goes, there are things I just don't believe in. AA doesn't try to define God. It's God as you understand God. That's probably good, D. Because if they pushed a certain religion, then you'd be boxed in. I think everybody has their own definition of what God is. You know what I mean? Most people have kind of about the same, descriptions, but I think each person probably might have a different idea of God. Religions can be dangerous, for sure, John, for sure. Most of them are about money. So if you get caught up in a church, yeah, now you could be in a cult. They could be out to get your money, your mortgage for your house. You know what I mean? They or the title for your house, the deed. They could be out after all kinds of things. Very dangerous. Religions can be very dangerous. But I think just taking the concept of a religion and using it at home by yourself, I think is helpful for people. But yeah, you could end up in Jim Jones' camp. You could end up in David Koresh's compound over there, or any of these. And look at YouTube. Look at how many cults are religious Christians. You go to a channel, you think, wow, this is a cult. A lot of them are about money, wanting to be a megachurch. Almost all of them are about money. Yeah, I think most churches are about money. I mean, yeah, that's what it's about. Making money. Example, hate your life here. You're no good without Jesus. Yeah, that is terrible. In fact, yeah, you're supposed to not hate your life. Can you imagine that? God gives you a life and puts you on earth and gives you beautiful things, trees, clouds. It's wonderful things, grass, crickets, just beautiful life, beautiful things. And you're supposed to hate it. And you're supposed to hate your life, everything God ever made, including you, including everybody. Your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, even your own children, even your own life. You have to hate it all. Well, that's not what they mean. Oh, really? What did it mean? No, it is what they mean. Yeah, and you're no good without Jesus. Yeah. It's funny because, like I said, up till 500 years ago, hardly nobody had a Bible. So what about all those people who were without Jesus? How are they going to get judged? Right. Yeah, you're no good without Jesus. You're no good without confining to rules. And it's funny because Jesus followed the Old Testament, but if you follow Jesus, you're not supposed to follow the Old Testament. And you know what Jesus' biggest message was? How bad the churches are. Get out of the churches. The church leaders have turned the house of God, a house of worship, into a slaughterhouse, money-making factory. The people who believe that stuff have age fat. Yeah. Yeah. You're right, John. Look at the people on YouTube. I mean, I've seen those people since 2015. I'd say 2016 is when, at the beginning, like January, February, March. And I'd say the end of 2015, but all from the beginning of 2016, that's when I pretty much saw all of them. And yeah, they've all aged fast, hard. Doc Kids looks like he's 90 years old. I forgot about him. He's still sitting in that old chair with the war medals on the wall behind him. He got off of eBay. Even after he got busted out. Oh, man. I forgot about him. Yeah, I forgot about a lot of them. But all you have to do is like type in one, like type in Blue Heaven or GG Blue Heaven or Rhonda Emson. Even if you type in Mark Hardy, those names will come up. All the names come up. I could show you. I could type in Mark Hardy and you watch. Rhonda Emson, all of them, all the names come up. They'll just keep here. Yeah, here, I'll type him in. You know who I remembered today? Remember Barry Scarborough? Everybody just thinks he's something because he's got those all right, here you go. I'm just going to show you real quick. Oh, it's really blue, isn't it? I'm going to go over to this screen probably. Go over this screen. So and you see that? So if you type in Mark Hardy, guess what? You go up here like you're going to type in somebody else and look at the names that comes up. Mark Hardy is associated with Chelsea Bedell, Steve Fletcher, Barry Scarborough, Fear No Man, never heard of that one, and Blue Heaven. So yeah, you just type in Mark Hardy and you will get all these other suggestions. First one, Chelsea Bedell, Steve Fletcher, Barry Scarborough, Fear No Man, and Blue Heaven. That's the suggestion. So yeah, because they're all teaching the same garbage. All of them. All to 6, 7 years later, all telling the same lies, guaranteeing your life is going to be over this year. I mean, you imagine thinking you're going to die anytime, every day, all day, every week, every month, for years, every day? Look up Doc Kids, sure. Forgot about him. Doc Kids. What's with the kids? Is that his last name? All right. Oh, wait. How do you spell his name? Oh, it's all one thing? Doc Kids. Why does it say kids? Doc Kids. It comes up Doc Kids hell. Does he talk about hell a lot? That's another thing, man. People need to. Here it is, Doc Kids. What's he got? He's got 79,000 subscribers. Are you serious? Are you serious? Get a cup of water and calm down. Look at that. He's got 79,000 subscribers. One word. Yeah, there he is right there. Wow. Oh, here, look at this. 7 years ago. Look how young he looked. Paul Kidd, Doc Kids exposed, liar and hypocrite teaching a perverted gospel. That was 7 years ago. Ask a pastor, Doc Kids, a.k.a. PK. Oh, he's a pastor now? Oh, there he is. Has he really got books behind him, or is that a green screen? What is that? Here, let's pull him up, and we'll see who. Click on his channel and look at his latest vid. See how old he looks now here. Oh, does he do live streams now? All right. How do I become a Christian saved by Jesus? All right, let's see what it looks like. What's with all the books? Why do people put all the books behind him? Oh, wow, he does look different. I'm going to have to hit the volume off. I'll click on one of these. Yep, so now look at. Now that Doc Kids is up on the screen, now look at the suggestions that come up. Doc Kids, Blue Heaven, Carrie Ann Giddens, never heard of her. Tim Henderson. There's some investigating. Remember, you guys, the night his wife died, I told you guys that was so weird how he sat in his car like that. Anyway, he's under investigation, you guys, for the wife's death. Anyway, Blue Heaven. Who's Carrie Ann Giddens? She must be one of them. Tim Henderson, The Unleashing. Jerry Tony. I forgot about him. He's the guy with the grease board. Does he work at a ticket booth or something? I don't know. He's always in a little closet or something. Jerry Tony, Barry Scarborough, Watchwoman 65. Tony Lamb, Chelsea Bedell, Watchman River. All right, let's see what it looks like. No, it's like I gotta shut the volume off though. See how you can just go from one to the next, like a monkey swinging on a vine. Go from one to the next to the next. Oh yeah. It's weird. He looks. You know what this looks like? Looks like he's been sick or something. There. Is he over there? Did he get sick? It looks like he's had cancer or something. He's like thin and all pale white. You know how white his hands are. They almost look like he's got gloves on. Most of the people I mentioned hate each other. Do they? Yeah. You know, when the last time I kind of checked in with all of them, they were starting to turn on each other. The one saved, always saved was turning on the other, not one saved, always saved. And it was Rhonda Empson. They're attacking Rhonda Empson because she's saying, wait a minute, you guys, why do Christians some end up in hell if it's one saved out? And then everybody attacked her. Yeah, so here, look, I'll show you now. Once you click on, I'll show you real quick. So yeah, once you click on Dot Kids, you'll get all these other suggestions. See, these are probably some new people I don't know about. You got Blue Heaven, Carrie Ann Giddens, Tim Henderson, The Unleashing, Jerry Tony, Barry Scarborough, Watch Woman 65. Oh, what happened to that one? Oh, what happened to that lady that had the stroke? She always used to prophesy wrong stuff. Tony Lamb, Chelsea Bedell, Watchman River. Is that really his room? Is he living a Blockbuster or something? It looks like a movie rental place. Is this for real behind him, or is that a green screen? Are those movies? Yeah, it looks like a VHSs or something. Weird. Yeah, weird. Yeah. Yeah, started, yeah. Anyway, like I said, look at the people flocking to Tim Henderson, and let's see, his daughter tries to commit suicide, so he goes in the hospital with a camera rolling, showing everybody that she's still alive, and pray for her, and made a video out of it and monetized it. The daughter in recovery after a suicide attempt. Then next thing, the wife's dead. And it's like, that's why the Bible has very strict rules about people who can teach and all that kind of stuff, because when your life is a complete mess, I mean, like that, you should shut the camera off and go try to get some help yourself. But yeah, that was really weird. Yep, I haven't looked at that crowd. Maybe this weekend I'll check in with the gang. Yeah, he looked sick. That Paul, whatever his name, Doc Kids, he looks sick. He's all pale and his face kind of looks different. Maybe it's just old. I don't know. Weird. Huge end times sign. And now look at I gotta show you something. How does this make any sense, you guys? So Doc Kids has almost 80,000 subscribers, okay? If you can believe it. 80,000 subscribers. Even with this sensational rabbi says end times and all that stuff, he still has no comments. Not one person commented. And he's got 80,000 subscribers. He's got 1,300 views, which anybody can get. But 80,000 subscribers and he's not got one comment. How does that math even add up, huh? Huh. Yeah. They're all buying subs too. And they're about one, never, ever, ever, never bought a single sub. That's why I'm still not even at 700 after 2,200 live streams of studying the Bible. Nobody wants to see it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're buying their subs. You have 80,000 subscribers, really. Most of those subs are paid. His views are very, yeah. It's got to be, because how can you have 80,000 subscribers and no comments? Look at, nobody commented after it. Was it a live stream? No, it wasn't even a live stream. Whether it is or not, don't matter. No, because where's the comments? It's not like comments are shut off. There's none. And it doesn't say streamed. No, this is a recorded video. And he's got not one person commenting. At 80,000 subscribers. 1,300 views, 80,000 people subscribed, and not one person makes a comment. I'll show you real quick. The son wearing a crown sounds like some MH would use. Yeah. Corona, crown, yeah. The son is wearing a crown. I'm surprised he didn't try to steal that from him. Just like the Son of God. What? The sun is wearing a crown. The sun in the sky is wearing a crown? Just like the Son of God. Rabbi says it's a huge end time sign. Well, that's funny because don't they hate the rabbis and the Jews? Because, that's another thing, you guys. It's the New Testament is so anti-Semitic. It's not even funny. And you know what? Somebody made a really good point. A rabbi, in fact. A really good point. Not only that's about the ministries and everything, but yeah, very anti-Semitic. And what do they always say in the Gospels when Jesus is confronting the church leaders? Jesus confronts the rabbis, the church leaders like the Sadducees and Pharisees, and so when they don't like Jesus, what does everybody say? They're a devil. If they don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah, they're Satan's child. They're the devil themselves. They're crazy. They're evil. They're wicked. They're mentally ill. They're crazy. Everything that you can imagine, they will say that why these people don't believe Jesus is the Messiah. That's funny. Do you ever see somebody who only can call somebody names? The other person's got a lot of legitimate points to make on their behalf in their argument. But the other person, all they can do is call names because they ain't got nothing. Not once does the gospel say, the Pharisees and Sadducees and the church leaders rejected Jesus as Messiah because this. No, they'll never say it. Not even one thing. Okay, they rejected Jesus as Messiah because the Messiah is supposed to do certain things and Jesus is not doing them. The Messiah is supposed to bring in world peace. Jesus never did. Okay, how about that? Just one thing. All right, well, the Messiah was supposed to bring in world peace and Jesus didn't do it. You won't hear that argument in the Gospels. You'll hear they're crazy. They're the devil. They got a demon in them. They're mentally ill. They're this, they're that. Never, well, they didn't believe Jesus was the Messiah because Jesus was just doing miracles and that's it. And the Messiah never was supposed to do miracles. Nothing like that. Or they don't believe Jesus is the Messiah because he did not sit on the throne in Jerusalem and reign as king. How about that? They did not believe that Jesus was Messiah because this. Nope, you won't see none of that. The only thing you'll see is that when they don't believe Jesus is the Messiah, it's because they got a devil in them, or their father is the devil, or they got demons in them, or this, or this, or this, and this. Never hear the argument. You'll never hear their point. Because everybody would say, wait a minute, maybe they're right. Or obviously they're right. Jesus did not meet the criteria in the prophetic. But exactly. That's exactly. They should have said, well, why didn't the Jews believe in them? Well, because he'd met not one of the single criteria in the prophecies of the Old Testament. The Jews are the only ones that knew how to read their own Bible. They're the only ones who had the scripts, the only ones looking for a Messiah. Do you think all these other people were looking for a Messiah? Do you think the Greeks and the Romans and all these other people were looking for the Messiah? Nope. The only ones looking for the Messiah was the Jews. The only ones that could read the scrolls was the Jews. They could read Hebrew. Yeah. A little crazy if you think about it. And you're going to tell them that they're wrong about their God, their Messiah, their book, all that, when they can't even read the book themselves. I mean, it's crazy if you think about it. Anyway, yeah, no, it didn't mean any of the criteria. Okay, so why don't they say, well, the Jews were upset because the Messiah is supposed to be from the bloodline of David, and half you guys are saying that his dad's God. Well, that was after the fact. But while he was here, did he sit on the throne in Jerusalem as king? No, he didn't. Did he bring in world peace? No, he didn't. Did he do any of those things? No. He did miracles. Well, it doesn't say anything about somebody coming to do miracles. But yeah, they're just crazy. And they got the devil in them, and this and that and this and that. Their father's the devil. That's why they don't believe Jesus is the Messiah. And you know what's weird? It's like billions of people are proclaiming to be Christian, and almost 99% of them never even picked up the book and read what their own religion is about. I always wondered that. Why? How come people that really get into this studying the Bible and really get into it, why do they stop being Christians? Yeah. Anyway. No, he didn't meet any criteria. None of it. But somehow they're crazy. Countless times in the Tanakh, it states clear, I am the Lord, and apart from me, there is no God. Yep. We just read Isaiah, and it must have been in there 20 times. I am your Savior. Besides me, there is no other Savior. I am the Lord your God. There is no God before me, and there is no God formed after me. Huh. So Jesus formed in Mary's womb was not a God formed after him? Huh. I'm your only Savior. Nobody helped me make the earth except me. I'm the only one that made things. I'm the only God. There's never going to be one after me either. There wasn't one before me or with me. I did all this by myself. They'd rather have someone tell them what's in the Bible. Yeah, you're right, Dee. And, there's just kind of human laziness where, hey, I don't have to read the Bible. I'll just go follow the guy who does read the Bible. And that's what most people on YouTube, you see, they can sit here. I mean, if anybody really does look at Dot Kid, what you'll say is there's a lot of new people, especially new in the faith, and they'll say, well, I didn't read the Bible and I don't really want to read the Bible, but this guy here, this Dot Kid guy, he read it. He understands it really good. So I'm just going to, instead of following Jesus or following God or following the Bible, I'm going to follow this guy. He is really close with God and he's close with Jesus. So I'll just get close to this guy who's already close to the other two. And I'll just do what this guy does. Because this guy did all this studying and all the work. So I don't have to. I'll just think what he does and believe what he does. Oh, this is a 2-minute video. I thought it was a 2-minute video. I'll just listen to this guy's 2-minute video. Yeah, they'd rather listen to dreams and visions and cherry pick scriptures. That's right. They all cherry pick. Yeah, well, he seems to have been here a long time. He must know the truth. Yeah, listen to, I was just listening to, actually I was listening to a rabbi talk about dreams. How dreams, so just think of so you got like, say you've got a water reservoir, like you've got a, like, in town where you got a water tower, a water tower is like all your thoughts, everything about you and your thoughts. Inside that water tower is your conscience, your subconscious, your super subconscious. It's all that stuff. Everything ever in your head. And when you turn the faucet on, those are your thoughts coming out very nice and organized and at whatever pace you want them to come out. And then when you shut the water off, it drips, drips, drips. Well, those drips are still coming out of the faucet, and that's coming out of the water tower. Those are still your thoughts. So when it's drip, 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 those are when you're sleeping, those thoughts are coming out of your reservoir there. And that's why if you got stinking thinking dreams every day for 20 years, Yeah, well, what are you putting in your water tower there? I'd lay off the porn. But yeah, cherry picking. Huh. That's all they do is cherry pick. And you'll say, okay, they said, well, those who are alive and remain will be caught up in the clouds. Well, what did it say the sentence before that? They don't know. What about the sentence after that? How about the whole paragraph before that? What was that chapter about? They don't know. They just know they're going to fly away. Like a big vacuum cleaner sucking them up. The rapture. The rapture. Yeah, they would rather than figure it out themselves, right, John? It's easier to listen to this guy here or any other idiot that's just going to spew out a bunch of crap and then think that you're good for the day. Well, you see, I don't have to spend all my time reading the Bible because this guy already did. He already read it, figured it out. So I'm just going to pick his brain and then go about my day. Well, what if this guy is an idiot? And what if this guy has it all wrong? What if this guy didn't study at all? He studied less than you. And you're buying what he's saying? Well, that's the problem. What if this guy isn't who you think you are? None of them are. So you got to study it for yourself. And even if everybody studies it for yourself, you still might come up with a different conclusion. Me and somebody else could have exactly 10,000 hours in, and I've come to a much different conclusion than they did at their 10,000 hours of study. You know what I mean? So even if you can prove they've studied that much, like me, I've got over 2,200 live streams of studying the Bible. Okay, so I've got probably 4,000 or 5,000 hours right on there studying the Bible. Proof that I studied the Bible. But hey, maybe I'm not coming up with the same thing you're coming up. Maybe you got twice as many hours and you're coming up with something different. Or maybe you don't have any hours and you're coming up with something different. Anyway, no matter how much somebody studies or whatever, I mean, you can just take these one-liners out of context like they do all the time. You can take one line out of the Bible and make it into anything you want. Those of us with discernment know something isn't right when their words never come to pass. Exactly. Now Mark Hardy's shooting for 2030. 2030 is going to be the end. Oh, wait a minute. You said you started in 2014 telling everybody it's the end. So now, for 16 years now, you've been wrong. I mean, it'll be 16 years in 2030. So, the big X is going over the United States. A big X, you guys, the eclipse, big X. Well, you knew about that 7 years ago when the first X went over. All right. We all, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever. We all know the X went over one way, and we all know it's going to go over the next way in 3.5 years from now. Okay. End of the world experts. Why is the X mean something now when it didn't last year or the year before or the year before or the year before? All these other years, it was a different reason why it's the end of the world. Now this year, the second X, well, you knew that was going to happen. Yeah, words never come to pass. You know what? I'm not playing the end time game anymore. Everybody else can play it without me. I'm going to go plant my trees and live my life. And if it is ever this end, guess what? I will have enjoyed every minute of my life right up to the end. MH said 2016 was it. The rapture was happening and Obama was our last president. That's right. He has said it every year. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. Now 2023 is it. 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 20. Yeah, every year. And yeah, you know what? There's 3 or 4 people that have been there for all this time. They've never called them out. And neither has Cynthia. Cynthia's never once said, hey, Mark, you said this every year now. Because we've lived together for 6 years now. We're on our 6th year together, living together. And I've noticed that lots of things you say, it never happens. And you say, it thus says the Lord. You have falsely prophesied. Never. As a matter of fact, opposite. She backs up his lies. So no. Yeah, just ask Cynthia. She'll tell you. I prophesied the landslides. Did you? Prophesied landslides, huh? Well, that's funny because in the beginning of December, it was all over the newspapers that California is going to have landslides in the next few weeks. So Mark says, hey, California's going to have landslides. Right, it was all over the news. They knew it was going to happen. Why? Because they burnt all the trees up first. So, and then they massive poured rain all over the place for months on end. And it turned into a big mud puddle that went down the hill. They knew it was going to happen. They warned it was going to happen. And now he's supposed to be a prophet? Nah, long before that. So they're just throwing crap against the wall, hoping that they can be a prophet. Now, kids, Cynthia, MH probably will not last much longer. I don't think so, too, John. They're not looking very good. Doc Kids looks like he's in stage 4 cancer. Cynthia does, too. Mark just looks like he's had the air chuck in him way too long. And if somebody doesn't pull it out, he's going to explode. None of them. And this is what you get. You're out there purposely lying to everybody to get attention and praise for yourself. Well, you're aging very fast. I mean, my dogs ain't even aging as fast as they are. What, 7 years to every year? Well, they're aging faster than that. There's about 10 years to every year. And I think it's a representative. Look in the mirror. That's what your lies have gotten you. That's where they got you. Mark's brought in 3 diseases on him in the last couple years. He brought morbid obesity on himself. He brought diabetes on himself. He brought high cholesterol on himself. And he's brought high blood pressure on himself. And who God knows what else. Those are all the things he's on medication for. Yeah. So you get you what comes around goes around. You're going to sit there and lie to everybody because you might get a pat on the back, or somebody might think that you're a gift from God and a prophet and all that. Well, look in the mirror. You're not doing too well. You know, usually when somebody comes to God and they clean their life up, like a year later, they'll look, wow, you look great. They stop drinking. They stop doing drugs. They're getting good night's sleep now. They're eating right. They're living right. They're out of that life of sinful lifestyle. And look, looking great. No, they're the opposite. The longer they stay in this Christianity thing, the worse they. Yeah, probably a few venereal diseases. Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. Yep. Probably both of them. Cynthia is, yeah, she's probably got a few herself. She talked about how she used to be. So, yeah. Well, they bring these diseases on themselves, and they sit there and tell everybody else how to live their life. I think it's funny too, trying to tell everybody how to run their business. He has a business for a couple years that goes straight into the ground because he's an idiot. But somehow he's going to go around telling everybody else how to run their business. Yeah. Well, what happened to yours? That's right. Hit the ground like a rocket. Like one of them plane crashes, you see, crash and burn. That's his business. Oh, but you're going to tell everybody else how to run theirs and how to put the books in their bookstore and everything else. Good. Yeah. They seem to be doing just fine without your advice. In fact, that's probably why they're in business, because they wouldn't listen to you. Anyway, well, unless you guys want to come in and chat, I'll probably get off of here and get to my Friday night Sabbath stuff. Got all my chores done. My food is cooked. Me and the dogs are gonna go chill out and relax. We'll whack. Anyway, yeah. All right. Well, I'll probably wrap this up, and I know it's windy. You know, I know it's windy when there's a little there's a little flap over my stove that goes to the outside, and it actually it tick 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 tick. It kind of wiggles when it's really windy outside, and it's doing that right now. Well, and first time I ever heard it, I thought like a cat got behind in the stove or something, or behind the wall. And I had to track down what that tapping noise was. It was something from the outside. Yeah, rest is important. And you know what? Rest is a blessing from God. Every night, I thank God for my good day. And I always, or whatever day I had, but I always thank God and ask Him for that. Me and the dogs have a restful night's sleep. And then when I wake up in the morning, I thank God that I had a restful night's sleep, because rest is a blessing. And nothing will age you faster than not getting enough rest. I mean, yep. Good night to you too, Dee. Thanks for coming in. And John, too. Good to see you tonight, John. Yeah. Yeah. And I just couldn't, I can't imagine. I can't imagine living a life like that where you hate everybody and you hate your life and you just want to die and all that kind of stuff. Even people in Jim Jones' cult didn't even want to die like that. You know what I mean? They had to put a lot of those people, they had to kill them because they didn't want to die. Even they had enough common sense to not want to off themselves, you know what I mean? Not hate everybody. Oh, I hate everybody. I hate my mom, my dad. Yeah, they had the common sense not to hate their mom and dad. I pray for God to impart wisdom and great ideas before I sleep at night. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I ask for always wisdom and understanding, guidance and protection for us all from injury, illness, harm, disease, and thank God every night for doing so. Yeah. And you know what I think the real key to life is giving out positivity, being a positive in your life and everybody else that you come across. Do something positive for them. And I think that's in really Christianity, a lot of times these people are doing the opposite. They're not bringing positive. They're telling everybody they're going to rot in hell and burn in hell and they're all going to hell and this and that. You can't get married and you can't do this and you can't have kids and you can't. It's like the Bible never said nothing. In fact, the Bible said opposite. It said, get married, go forth and populate, have children, get married. It's not good for a man to be alone. No, you shouldn't get married. Oh, no wonder they look like that. Right. Yeah, he says the same. He's got this one underneath me here. It's stretching. He's the one that's got the shot collar on. He had a big day. Anyway, all right, I'm going to pray us out. Heavenly Father, thank you for gathering us once again. We always thank you for your Sabbath rest, because it's always a delight. Thank you for all of our blessings. Amen and amen. All right, well, good night. Yes, we get back what we give to others. When we show kindness to others, we get back many times return. I think so too, John. I think that's the secret. In fact, I was listening to some people talking about that too. Another rabbi is talking about really that the one that was talking about reincarnation was talking about the same thing. And we're here to do good. We're here to help people and do good. And everybody's got missions. You have a mission. And it's always has to do with doing good, helping people, being positive, bringing light into somebody's dark day and all that kind of stuff, all that good stuff that you're not going to see Christians really do. You're just going to hear warnings on how horrible you are. You're going to burn in hell. You're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. Anyway. All right. Well, good night, John and Dee, and anybody else that came and listened. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening on the replay. And I hope you all have a wonderful Sabbath. I hope you have a great Friday night, Saturday. I hope your day tomorrow goes great. Happy April Fool's Day tomorrow. And because it's the joke is it's actually tomorrow is kind of like New Year's. Beginning of April's New Year's. That's what the joke is. So have a good New Year's. Happy New Year's. And hope to see you tomorrow night. Good night, everybody. Love you all. God bless you all. Praise and glory to God. Hallelujah. And shalom.